So we're picking up with the end of step 16. So I'm going to go to the machine and sew the other side, and then we'll continue and finish this project. So again, on my long sides, I was lining up with the yellow tape. Exit to the beginning. Stop, make sure you pull those pins out before you get to the needle. Stay nice and lined up with that yellow tape. Bring it to the end, back stitch again. Again, cut that thread long. Make sure coming back here. What I did when I wasn't filming is I trimmed all of my threads. So when you finish sewing something, there's going to be long threads hanging off. You need to make sure that you trim them. Be careful not to cut your fabric of your project because that could end badly. All right, so we're going to come back over to the table. We're going to take a look at our directions. And here we are at step 18 says iron around the photo fabric if needed. So I do feel like I need to. Mine's kind of curling up around my fabric. It depends on how well you ironed the first time probably and how it was stored in your sewing box. So I'm just going to come over to my machine and make sure my seam's all laying the right way and make sure that my iron is dry. If you get water on that photo, it will bleed off. So do not press the steam button. And you might come along, you know, threads that need to be trimmed as you're doing this. So you can do that after, it's no big deal. And all I'm looking to do is make sure I have a nice flat okay. So with that done, I'm coming back over to the table and my directions say sewing the back to the front. Lay the back down right side up. So this is my back piece and we're gonna lay it down right side up. Oh, to save yourself a step later, you may want to go to the iron. I don't think this is in my directions, but I'm just gonna tell you this. And open up your seam on the inside. It'll help you close it later when you're trying to do that invisible stitch. So we're gonna iron that open essentially, so that it's flipped back. So there you can see I got a nice crease there and here, and that's all. Then I'm gonna bring it back to the table. And we are sewing it inside out, and we have right side facing up. So this is, that's okay, my dog is drinking water. All right, so lay the back down right side up, like I was saying, and lay your front piece on top of the back piece with right sides together. So I'm going to take my little picture of Chloe here, try to center it as best as I can, and maybe I'll try to do it this way and see if it lines up better. Enough. All right, so I like it this way. I think I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna pin it along these sides and along the inside of here. You'll see what I'm saying in a second. Oh, there's my pin cushion. So again, when we pin together, so you see all my wrong sides are facing out, my right sides are facing in. And this time we're pinning all around the fabric. So anything that's gonna be trimmed off, you want your pins on the inside of that so it doesn't get in the way when you try to trim it. So when pinning, make sure you're going down through all the layers and back up through the layers. So that's my one end. Nice and smooth. I'm going to come down to my other end. And then I'm just going to put a couple along the side to keep that fabric in place. So at this point we laid them together, we smoothed it out, we lined it up so that the center of the back is in the middle, and we pinned it all the way around. So now you would have a teacher check, and what I'm going to be looking for basically is that your pins are on the inside, that when we flip it over, your pins are on the inside of the other side too, so I can see all the areas I'm going to trim off. So this looks kind of uneven, so we're going to trim that off. And then you would do this only after getting it checked with me. But what you should be able to see here is because I put those pins to the inside, I can easily go around and cut off the extra fabric that I do not need. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be lining up with that yellow tape, so we do have that area of seam that will allow for a little bit of fabric to be not so perfect. Alright, now I'm going to flip it over to trim my other sides. At the final stage now. So now you would again have me check it real quick, and we are going to sew all the way around it. So we are almost done. This time we are sewing completely around the square. Unlike our pin cushion, when we did our pin cushion we had to leave that one opening. Keep in mind we have our opening back here, so that will be where we're going to flip it inside out. So now I'm going to go back to my machine. And remember, we learned how to pivot corners. We're going to be pivoting the corners here too. So we are going to start at the corner and line up with the yellow tape. When you begin, back stitch. Continuing all along, keeping it lined up with that yellow tape. Stopping to take out those pins. All right, and as we get close to the corner, we're going to slow down a little bit if we are going kind of fast. And we are going to make sure that we give ourselves enough room to pivot that corner. So we're going to stop with our needle in the fabric, pick up the presser foot, turn it. And now I'm a little closer to my presser foot than I probably should be. That's okay, I still have plenty of room, and I'm just going to steer it back over so that my fabric is lined up with my yellow tape. And as you go with your fabric, you want to make sure that's just laying flat as it goes under your needle. Alright, taking out the pins as I get close. Again, we're coming to a corner, so we're going to need to pivot that corner. So when we stop, we want that needle in the fabric. I'm going to go just one stitch with my hand wheel, pick up my presser foot, and turn. So again, just keeping it lined up with that yellow tape. We're almost there. Stop, take out those pins. Again at the corner, pivot. And the last side. We are there. Alright, then when we get to this corner, we're just going to backstitch again. And for the most part, we are done. Now all we have to do is, do I do it off my machine? All right, then before we flip it right side out, we would go along and find any loose threads we have hanging off, which I should have some. They're just light in color. I did trim a lot off when I wasn't taping. All right, so at this point, we can go in, take one corner, kind of push it into your hand, pull it out, put your hand into the pillowcase, push out each corner, and you'll see you'll have threads that you'll have to trim off after you flip it right side out too, which is no big deal as long as you do that before you're done. All right, and this would be the moment of truth too. If there was any holes in your seams, you should see them now so they can be fixed before you stuff it. All right, so without stuffing it, this is my pillow, and that's the back. That's where the stuffing is gonna go in, and all we have left then is to stuff it and to invisible stitch it. Thank you for watching.